Alrighty guys, hey, I am back. I am going to go live here a little bit. And as you can see kind of where I'm looking with my new golf bag here, I'm going to play some holes. Newly acquired Cataclysm, of course brand new accuracy here. This is going to completely mess with me for a little bit. I got to figure this out. So at min distance, I'm looking at about 1.4 per ring here. And aside from that, I'm gonna probably play min distance at about 2.0 and put mid club somewhere about 1.7. Just kind of toy around with the idea of that for a little bit. Aside from that, I'm gonna keep, some really accurate stuff in my bag here. 100% accuracy, 96, 98. Hopefully the audio quality is a little bit better for you guys. And let's get to it. I mean, you see I'm all out of chests here. Could use a couple things to unlock. Hopefully I can figure out this new Cataclysm, new toy to play with. And let's see if there isn't guys on here looking for matches. I'm going to try to get somebody live. So you see me backing out here. I am just going to keep refreshing until I can get some opponents. Hopefully you guys are getting better sound quality here with the new headset. Otherwise, if anybody else has any other suggestions, if we still continue to have problems, feel free to throw them in the comments, and I'll do the best that I can to basically increase my live coverage, make it a little bit more desirable. Now this one, basic ball, is going to make things interesting. The bunker's probably going to be in play here, so I'm really hoping to be able to avoid it. This guy's probably right on the verge of being able to hit that fairway, in between landing it on the fairway and let's see if he gets there. Yeah, I thought it was going to be pretty close, but it looks like, oh, that was close. Almost threaded it there. Let's see if I can't get it. Basic ball here. I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat, and usually when I am, I play this a little bit more cautious. So you're going to see me not use the topspin, because I figure if I hit the fairway, if it does carry far enough to hit the fairway, it's going to still get over the bunker with the backspin. So I'm going to just kind of go at this with backspin, just as kind of a safety measure here. And in the event that it hits a rough like his, as it does, hopefully, it checks and stays short just like that. Pretty good win there. Of course, having Malibu in Tour 11 can sometimes be a downfall. With that wind that he got, he could have probably got it around the corner, possibly to the front of the green, with a full ball shot like this, whereas now it's kind of like playing for a layup here. And my shot, of course, shouldn't be too bad. It would have only been really challenging had they put it straight in the face here. But as you see, 20.0 miles per hour. Pretty ridiculous. I like putting it on the fairway so I can kind of see what I'm doing with my backspin here. Because I need to figure out how much backspin to use here in order to stop this thing, kind of. So at 1.4 per ring, we're looking at least 13 rings here. And I'm assuming I am going to go into landscape mode. So hopefully that isn't too bad. It's just for this shot. Looks like I'm feeding it down towards the hole, a little short. I used a little bit too much backspin there, but overall not too bad. What you want to try to avoid when you're doing hook shots like that, you want to avoid making it run out too far. So it looks like if you put it, hole level with your backspin, and then you swing it like that super hard, it's going to come in a lot hotter. So what I usually try to do is just try to estimate, try to keep it a little bit shorter of the hole. And there you see I put it at about just a little bit short of the hole, and it almost swung around there. It swings around there like extra. So you could see it come in there to the hole. And not too bad. So I'm going to keep going at it here. It looked like that cataclysm adjustment wasn't too bad either. So it looks like I might already have it kind of rolling here. That's my first ever shot with a Cat 7. So I'm pretty happy about that. Being able to have this club in my bag. Got to use it on the first hole. Let me see if I can't back out here. Start opening a chest. Get my time going since I was out of chests here. See if I can't do a bunch of holes here for you guys. See if the audio's not too bad throughout. Aside from that, if this headset doesn't improve the quality, I'm not sure where to go from here to get the audio quality better. So hopefully this trick works. I mean, aside from that, I would kind of need to use another app or something. So let's take a look here. 17 wind here, straight in the side. We're going to play the island, hopefully successfully. One of the things with the Apocalypse that I have is I can topspin this too much. So I have to use more of like an Apoc 5 type topspin, Extra Mile 8, kind of somewhere in there for the amount of topspin that I'm going to use. That one's nicely done. Let's see if I can't do something similar here. What I like about this tee shot is you don't really usually need a lot of power. There are times that you get it straight in the wind that you do. But for the most part, you're good to go with not much power, which is nice. Makes it a little bit easier. Now, I typically play this about 1.3 per ring, so I'll probably be somewhere in the neighborhood again of 13 rings here, somewhere around there. Because I'm going to put so much curl on this, I'm going to go a little bit extra on my adjustment, because I don't really think missing left is going to be a possibility, because you can see how hard this is swinging. So I'm assuming that the bunker is not going to be in play. Sure enough, not too bad. And like I was mentioning, I almost ran it through that fairway. All that extra curl and all that hook really gets the ball to start to take off. And you see how much that actually runs out is just crazy. Let's see if we can't pop this one up here. Put a half decent attempt on it. I'm not sure if I'll be in a Cataclysm range or not. I'm not used to being at that spot. The long iron is going to start to come into play, but it most of the time for me it's like with like Kingmakers or Titans or something. So hopefully I'll still be in Cataclysm range here and I can mess around with it a little bit more. Looks like for the most part I'm going to be good here, setting up on min distance. But notice how I'm going to be pulling towards max distance, so I'm going to play it more like mid club. So about how I said Actually, you know what? I might even play it more towards max club here, to be honest with you. And notice how I'm going to set my arrow up long, because into the wind, it's going to, after it bounces, it's not going to roll out very far. So aside from that, I'm going to go about 11 rings here. And then on top of that, just a little bit of counter curl. Didn't want that great ball. Hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, that great ball cost me. It was going at the hole. And notice how the ball started to really slow down when after it landed. It looked like the ring adjustment was pretty solid for the most part. It was about 11 rings on a 15, so not too bad there. Let's see if we can't go to shootout here and get to hit another Cataclysm shot. This one might be a little bit harder to get a Cataclysm depending on the wind. You really need downwind here. Didn't get it. I am probably going to go with a nice little curl shot in here, more than likely. There's an alternate way to play this. I'm not sure I'm into the wind enough. See how close this guy is first before I decide what I'm going to do. Of course, I could always try to top spin it out of the bunker like I did the other day. That gives me a decision to make. 7-8 yards. There's another nice little spot here that I probably wouldn't need much side spin at all. Probably just come in at the hole. Playing it this way, it's going to be more like maybe 10 rings here. Hopefully that great ball doesn't cost me. Not too bad. Could use just a little bit more curl. But all in all, the shot's not that bad. Keep rolling here. See if I can't match up with somebody. Not too many guys on tour 11. If one of y'all want to hop on real quick, try to match up with me. I could use it. Still nothing. Just spinning. Here we go. Back to this Ryan guy. Had him 2 holes ago. Not a terrible wind. Not my favorite though. So what I like to do on this drive is try to take away the trouble. So I'll do one of two things. Sometimes I'll try to just pound it down there if I'm downwind, because chances are I'm going to be able to get my second shot to the green if I'm down there close enough. In times like this, the average case, I'll play more of a safety shot, which is kind of about 340 off the tee, right before it starts to get into that neck on the left there. So you're going to see me not get too aggressive, just in case I end up missing right. So it's kind of like this guy, where it's stopping right around here. Because once you start going into that neck, if you miss on your tee shot a little bit, it'll roll into the rough. So what you're going to see me do, and what you kind of saw him do, is you just play like kind of to stop it before going through that neck. And as you can see, he nicely pulled that off. And I'm going to try this with about 15 rings. Just a little bit extra curl on top of that. Let's see if I can't get this somewhere going in the right direction here. You see, I'm just kind of going straight down the middle there. None too long. Something in the 340s is what I'm looking for, because it gets me close enough. Now, this might bite me in the butt with basic ball, because if they gave me straight in the face, I would need, but you know, I have the best wood in the game right now in my bag. So I still wouldn't be too afraid, because even straight into the wind, I'd be able to play it off to the left there and still just hit it full max everything and still get there. Even with basic ball 20 in the face, I'd still be okay. And that's one of the reasons that you'll see me play a little bit of conservative on this drive. I highly recommend you guys doing something similar, you know, driving the 340s before you start bringing in a lot of that trouble. Like I mentioned before, the only time that I kind of deviate from that plan is if it's so downwind that I can just put it up there super close. And I'll go that route and do it that way. So here you see I'm more towards max club, but notice how on these straight winds, when you're pulling back, you're going to be pulling straight back on your adjustment. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of estimate how the ball is going to react up there. So you saw me pull into the power, but on top of that, remember that you're going to be pulling back towards min when you're doing your adjustments here. Let's try that. Roughly about maybe 9 rings. A little bit of counter back. Let's see how that works. It's not too bad. Just a bit left. Probably made it without that counter back. Little hook that I was putting on it to kind of straighten out the line since it was pointing to the right a little bit. I just wanted to try to counter that a bit. But it seems like this new Cataclysm is going to treat me pretty well. Looks like I'm starting to kind of already get the feel for the adjustments that need to be made with the based off of accuracy. Let's see what we get for a shootout hole. Let's see, the real test will be the island, if they give us the Milano Island. Nope, not yet. Maybe in the future. So with that wind, basically 9 out of 10 times I'm going to do this backspin shot that you're going to see him do. This is actually a bit of a tricky one for me because I don't have side spin on there. But you see it's even going to be a tricky one for him because he doesn't have Thor 5 yet. He's going to have to go in power since he didn't put on a good enough power ball. We're both probably going to have to go into power. Hopefully he reconnects here shortly. I'm assuming that he just got a phone call or something. Here he comes back. And let's see how he does here. Typically, I'll put my arrow, towards the pin here. Like where he has it set up, it's going to be a little too short, so he's going to have to go into some power. And there you see him doing that. And let's see if he can't get this one. Pretty good. Up, up, up. A little bit left. I'm a little worried about that myself, to be honest with you. So I'm going to play a little aggressive on the line here. See if I can't pull this off. But like I mentioned, this is going to be a tricky one. Here's max power. Max power is going to be a little bit much, so I'm going to take off of max. But it is going to be quite significant, the amount that I need to play here. Now, normally I go full backspin. You're not going to see me do that here because I need the ball to run out. So you're going to see me take off some. You're going to see me do more full curl here, which I don't usually do either. I'm going to try to play it a little bit right as well. Now playing it right, more on the right side, hopefully brings out some of that trouble that I could run into. Because you see how his went up that hill and didn't come back down. I need to play more right to avoid having that happen to me, since I can't put any side spin on the ball. And not too bad there for that hole. You see, I just didn't put on enough, just needed maybe just a little bit more backspin there. I used about 1 short of my max, and I should have maybe used maybe a half or 3/4. I've played this guy a bunch on Tour 11, good Tour 11 player. This one's going to be kind of brutal. So let's see if I can't do something positive here. I'm going to go at this a little bit different this time. So here I'm going to kind of land for this spot up here. I'll play about 10 rings or so. I'll just shoot it towards the rough here. Top spin it. Oh no, it hit the fairway. Hit the fairway by an inch. That's brutal. That's just bad luck. So, re-gear here. See if I can't put it in for what would now be an eagle by getting up and down here. I'll have to make it from the fairway next time. I almost took off a little bit, but really I did not expect it to quite make it there. Sometimes I underestimate basic ball. I mean, it has all that wind that's down, and it just goes a little bit farther than you expect. But a little unlucky there. That's what I was trying to do. It's the easiest way to play this shot once you have an Epoch 7. And as you see this time, get a completely different wind here. I'm going to do it more how I did last time, because I can't go for that shot now. And again, same as last time, we're going to go kind of 1.3 per ring, 9 rings, somewhere in there. Great ball left. I'm assuming with all that curl isn't going to cause any real danger. So you'll see me favor going left there for a great ball as opposed to right, because I don't want it to over slice. For example, like I get a bad hop off the island. So you see me be a little slow on my timing there, kind of intentionally, just to be a little on the safe side. So let's see what we got here. Do I even get a chance? Yes, I do. So, missed it left here. My shot's going to be very hard, especially at this angle. It makes it even a little bit more challenging than it should be, because I couldn't get it back there left enough. And you see kind of the problem that arises here. So I'm going to go at this. I usually use, 4 or 5 backspin. I'm going to go definitely into more backspin, because downwind it's going to want to run out quite a bit more. As you see, I'm going right. I'm definitely going to use max, because I'm going to need to go towards min. So here you're going to see me. I'm going to still put the arrow short here, like you see. At min, I said I was going to do about 2. So let's try this real quick at about 7.5 rings or so. See how that looks. Of course, you're going to have to. I'm going to definitely have to curl it. So without that curl, it's going to have too much momentum. Now I did put too much on. It's definitely too much, but I needed something, because coming in at that angle without being able to put side spin on it, it was going to shoot right at the hole no matter what. So, but what's nice is it looks like my adjustment's pretty good. I just didn't quite need to curl it like that. Sometimes I get a little carried away, especially on those high wind shots. It gets a little bit tougher to estimate curl there. So a little unfortunate there. You're seeing me here back out. I like to reset no matter what, win or loss. If it's not somebody I know that I'm playing, I'm not going to re-up. I like resetting my luck, for example, and it kind of gets me out of the mindset of what happened in the last game. Regardless, draw a new opponent. Look at every game as a new game, and this helps to do that in my opinion. When you leave the game reset, it just kind of gives you kind of a different mindset. It helps me. So definitely one of the techniques that I like to use is to always do that no matter what. Especially more times than not, my chest is full out there, and if I won, I want to go out and reset that chest, open it up so I can get the possibility for some new cards. Now I am getting towards the end of where I'm going to need to do that with getting this Cataclysm, because I was doing it pretty much all the time for these Cataclysms, and but I still want Tsunami, so kind of the same thing. I'm going to be doing it maybe a little bit for the Tsunami cards. But, yeah, so that's another reason that I always back out, is to just kind of reset that chest. And let's see here. This is going to be a little bit of a challenging basic ball. It's not usually so bad unless it's straight into the wind like this, because it really reduces the amount of options that I can do here. So what you're going to see me do here is a full curl shot. I'm going to need that side spin. Of course, you see what I'm doing with my top spin. I don't want to get too carried away, because then the ball won't stop. But I need to make a landing zone that's going to be like right in here somewhere. So you're going to see me set up for that. I'm playing off the left of my bullseye, and you can see that the left of my bullseye is kind of going to come back to that spot. And then I'll stack on top. I'll go a couple extra rings on top of that. I am going into landscape mode, so you're going to just see me play a full hook here. Now what the full hook's going to hopefully do is it's going to help it miss this bunker, is what I'm trying to do. And you see I almost had it, I just needed to adjust a little bit more. And when you miss that bunker, miss this, you can kind of shoot right up through there if you do it right, and you'll be in perfect spot. Worst case scenario, you see where I put it. I put it in the rough here. It looks like, with the way that the angle of the wind's going, and the pitch shouldn't be too bad. Just have to try to get perfect ball. This is a hard hole on Tour 11 if you don't eagle to get to a playoff. So you always want to be in the mindset of needing your eagle on this hole for sure. So you see, even from the bunker here, this guy hits perfect ball. And I just got lucky that it's not shooting down towards the hole here. I kind of forget how far I am from the hole. I've been here a couple times, but I don't remember. It's kind of what I figured. So what I'll do here is I'll kind of play off this surface and just kind of point it up towards a hole like this. I don't even need to go a full ring here. It's less than a ring, so nice little minor adjustment here, and then just hope for perfect ball. Didn't get it. First time playing from the rough today. Takes a little bit sometimes for me to get warmed up for that timing. Every once in a while I'll be able to you know, get it right off the bat, but I usually that's how I typically play when it's my first rough or sand shot, is I'll release way too early. It's my typical thing to do. I even do that on putts. I still, if I'm going to release a putt, I always release early. Just kind of my tendency. But that's good. It brings us to the tiebreaker hole that I was hoping that we could be able to get here. Let's see if I can't get some good things happening here. Damn. All right, so that is nicely done, 2.5 yards. We're going to see if we can't try to get in between there somewhere in the hole. It's going to be hard with this wind. I am going to go at this with about 5 bars of backspin, and I am going to try to land it right about here, more or less, right around max distance. And I'm going to get somewhat aggressive on the left side because I don't have side spin. So I'm going to need to go at least minimum 12 rings here. Maybe even more than that. Let's go 13. And when you curl this, you need to remember that it's going to land left of where you're setting up. It's not too bad. Let's see if it gets down there. Gets inside this guy's ball. Looks like I got it. One thing that you want to keep in mind when you're doing those curl shots is it's going to land lefter than you're setting up. So you're going to see me set up more towards the middle, and when you saw that shot actually come in, it landed left of where I was setting up, even though I hit perfect ball. So keep that in mind when you're setting up your adjustments. I don't want to see you guys hit the rough when you bring it into the hole. So just create a little bit of extra room. So I'm talking to my friend right now about the feed here. Apparently, from my understanding, the audio is still a little choppy here, so I apologize for that. I'm still trying to figure out a solution to that. I'm assuming that it has to do with the DU recorder software that I'm using as to why this is happening. I think it's a problem with, you know, some kind of compatibility issue with my phone and the DU software. So I might have to look into finding a better live stream app. If anybody here has one in mind that I can check out, I'd greatly appreciate it in the comment sections or something, or private message me so I can try to figure out kind of a better option here for the audio quality. So again, kind of similar approach as last time. You're going to see me try to keep it short. Now this is a much harder wind. I'm probably going to end up going landscape mode here because this is very challenging with a basic ball to get this to straighten out here. So there's 10 rings. I'm going to need to go more than that. Let's go 13. I'm going to have to go, like I said, landscape real quick. I'm not sure how much I need the landscape. I'm going to try to split the difference and not quite go full. And let's see if that's not enough. I should have went full. But hopefully, no, it is enough. Whew. Okay, so none too bad. A little nervous on that shot, but kind of what I was mentioning before, keeping it short like that kind of saves you more than not. It gives me more margin for error on that shot. And here you're going to see, because the wind's going to be pointed straight in my face, and I'm just going to kind of show that I can probably get here. And I'm going to have to shoot this out towards this small part of the fairway here. I'll probably, Jesus, if this Wi-Fi could pick back up, that'd be lovely. I'm assuming that we're going to be going through some real choppy parts right now in the video. So let's see here. I'm going to do this about here. 2 top spin. Of course, I'm going to have to go everything, and you see me go in landscape mode because I'm going to need to take advantage of some hook to get this going back towards the hole. And you even see me cheating it to the right because I knew that to get it back towards the hole there. Okay, so when you're countering the wind like that, so all that curl, it's not going to come back as far. So you're going to see me, when I shank that, I shank it off the right of the bullseye to kind of influence the ball to overcompensate back towards the hole because it was so restricted by that wind. So you see just a little bit more topspin there. I would have got to the green, but nevertheless, where I am should be good enough for, 10 out of 10 times making this. So should be good to go. There's about 2. This is a nice, roughly 6 ring adjustment here. So you see me got, 5 rings right in there, just short of the pin, just to be on the safe side. Of course, you see power-wise, I'm about centered. I might just move it back just a little bit, cheat it towards the back of the cup. And there you have it. Still get your eagle. You make it to the shootout hole. And like I mentioned, that's worst case scenario there. Imagine if you had a Katana on, Navigator on, you have way less wind, you have some side spin that you can use. It makes pulling that shot off still very possible. So here I'm going to go about 4 backspin. That's what I like to do. And I'm going to do kind of an over adjustment. You see how I'm kind of mid club here? I'm going to put my ball kind of towards the back of the hill here. You see how I'm using the trail towards the back. And then aside from that, I'm going to go at least 12 rings here, minimum. On top of that, as you could see, I'm going to still need to curl it. It looks like it's just going to come down too lazy. It's not going to make it back to the hole. It's not going to be super close. I'm just going to have to hope for a little bit of luck here, because I didn't get up the slope enough. But you see, the shot's not terrible. It's just very beatable. I'm kind of fortunate here. This guy has a berserker, so he's kind of up against it too. We're both kind of in the same boat. We have tougher shots than we need to on this hole. And you see, if I would have just got up the hill just ever so slightly, an extra yard, it would have been at least, you know, it would have came down the hill at least a yard more. So it was just a little lazy coming back down the hill there. Let's see if he can't thread this up in there. Let's see what this looks like. It looks pretty good. Oh, wow, that's different. So it looked like my Wi-Fi picked back up again. Haven't had any disconnects, but all right, so I'm getting kind of updates on from the comment section. I will reach out to Cam here and see what he's doing. That's kind of one of the best suggestions that somebody gave, was to reach somebody who has great feeds when they go live. So thank you for that, guys. And I would definitely be reaching out to him and trying to see what he's doing. Let's see, about 40 some minutes here. Do another hole for sure. You see, the new Cataclysm ain't too bad tool to have around. The real test will be if we get the Milano par 3. Hopefully we'll get it this time. That'll be the ultimate test on whether or not I feel pretty good about the way that those adjustments that I mentioned that I was using seem to be kind of spot on. 1.4 at Max Club, 2.0 for this Cataclysm seem to be treating me pretty good, so might just stick with those, and kind of aside from that, just go off a feel. And with the feel aspect of things, it has to do with the way that the ball is going to react after it lands. So one of the things that you guys should always be considering is the way that the ball shot is going to change after it lands and hits on the ground. So, you know, into the wind, and you're seeing it on that last shootout for me. I had the shot trail so much up on that hill, and then when I actually hit the shot, it was so much less. It was like nothing. So here I'm going to go at this with a full hook. Try to get this way over there to the right. So I'm going to set up on the right of my bullseye and go about 2.5 bullseyes from there. I'm going to go back into landscape mode just to get kind of the optimal hook here. So I need this ball coming way right here in order to hopefully try to keep it in this fairway and get it down here to have a decent amount of run out to where I'm down. Now this is the hole that is really nice to have Cataclysm in my bag. So even with basic ball here, if they give me any and pointed down towards the hole for the second shot, it's like game over. It's so nice having this club for this hole. Here it looks like I'm dropping a little bit, a little weak signal from my Wi-Fi. But you see, even with that base, hey, this guy's going to go at it too. Appreciate that. Kind of in the same boat here. So just for the sake of argument, like I just want to kind of, you know, pull back here and see the differences between our tee shots here. You see that extra curl really gives it a little bit extra momentum. You see, But plus, on top of that, it's not just that, it's the fact that I have so much topspin on that club too. But like I've said, if it points anywhere down hole, man, you can forget about it. I can just hit this thing a mile. So a little unlucky here. No real problem though. I'm going to do more max club adjustment here, which is going to be, there's 5, 10, 12 rings, somewhere in there, plus the curl that I'm going to put on this. A little bit of extra power, which it may need. And you know, with the way that this wind is pointed, it's really going to restrict the ball coming around to the left. So you see that's almost going straight there. It's not even really giving me any real left. So that's why I'm kind of going full max there. For as much curl as I can put on that, there's no real threat to get it out there. And that extra distance, you see with this guy going basic ball 2, really provides a little bit extra here that makes it a little bit easy. Makes the hole a little bit easier. Every yard is crucial when you have to go when you go at things basic ball. Since this guy, you know, was a trooper, regardless of what happens here, we're going to go to shootout here no matter what. I'll give him the stroke if it looks like he needs it. Let him come up, and with him hitting the rough, I'm assuming he's going to need the help. So. Oh my God, look at that wind. That is brutal. So pretty much his worst case scenario here for this hole. Again, I'm probably going to go into landscape mode. I'm going to use this more as my target line right in here. So I'm going to kind of start my adjustment off of here. And I'm going to need to go into landscape mode for this again. Really getting the bad end of things here. So as you can see here, I'm getting this to the fringe, easy for a dunk, no matter what. So I know from this spot, no matter what, you don't have to play it outside a cup. If it's 20 miles per hour, I could put it right on the edge of the cup and it'll just go right in. Like I mentioned, I'm just going to let this guy come up. And we'll go to shootout here. So, no worries. So being downwind here, the hardest thing about this shot is going to, well, here it's a little bit sidewind too. The hardest thing about these are, like I mentioned before, kind of anticipating what's going to change with your ball. So see where he's setting up? It's probably a perfect landing zone for the ball to just naturally shoot back at the hole. Like no curl, none of that. You don't need any of that. You could just kind of let this one go straight. Like all this extra curl is probably going to cause it to go to the right of the hole. And there you see it, shooting it out to the right. No problem. We're good to go. We will be going to shootout now. So let's see what we can get for a shootout here. And here we go. This is perfect. This is perfect. I love this. This is the hole that I've been wanting. Oh, geez. This is as bad as the wind gets. Last time I could have set up to do this shot like this, and the only reason that I went away from it is because the guy was in there so tight. So if you watch my last live stream where I tried to do something ridiculous, typically I would go for this shot, but he was in there so tight that the odds of me even being able to pull this off and get it within a yard of wherever, the guy was like 1 yard, like literally 1 yard. The only way I was going to beat that would be with something crazy. It has to do with what I mentioned before. Like, I can't stop the ball. Like, there's no way to stop it on this hole. So, you know, if I can't stop the ball here and get it close to the hole off the island, you got to use kind of a different here you're going to see me ever so slightly less than a ring here. We're going to have to play kind of off the min distance number that I was mentioning before. So, you know, right around, I feel like 10 rings here kind of would be like mid club, or a little bit less than mid club. It's probably what I'm aiming for here. And notice how I mentioned before about how I'll shoot it out to the left because a little bit, because when I do the curl, it's going to make it land more right of where I'm set up to aim. Now it looks like I'm coming up a little bit short too, but I'm just creeping inside this guy's ball. I landed it a little bit short there, so if you want to have a little bit better luck on that shootout hole, using that approach, you can land it a little bit closer. I was being a little conservative there with my land zone because it's my first time on this club and I just wasn't sure where I wanted to play it, and it looked like about 10 rings, so about 1.5 per ring was a little bit short, but I didn't want to land on that fairway with it being the first time playing that. So I did want to be able to go for the island, but there's no point of going for the island when the wind's that high. I can't stop the ball. I would have been within 6 yards, I can tell you that, but it would have been behind the hole at least minimum 3, at least 3 yards, maybe 4. Like, that's as fast as you can stop the ball without guardian when you get it downwind like that. And of course, we get the ultimate terrible wind 2 straight times on this hole. But again, I'm going to use more of that same approach. I might take the same aggressive line, but instead of going landscape mode, just do it without. And because since I ended up so much left on that last one, it was a little bit too much. So I know I usually always go landscape when it's pointed to the right, but since the wind isn't necessarily pointing to the right, and you see, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Right there is what I'm trying to do. But it's a little bit easier, especially when I'm in basic ball mode. The only real way that I can kind of thread it through there and get that is with the curl shot, because I can't side spin it. So and again, I need to try to visualize where I'm landing, so I need to kind of use this as my target line, unfortunately. And so I'm setting up the left of my bullseye to kind of hit that zone, because that's where the ball's going to land. And then on top of that, like I mentioned before, I'll probably go, you know, here's 2 full bullseyes, a little bit more than that. Might use a little bit more topspin. I'm going to go landscape again. But this time, instead of going full landscape, I'm going to pull it in just a little bit. Kind of shoot it back at a better angle, hopefully. It's kind of my goal here. Still not quite enough. Landing in the left rough, but let's see if my timing's a little bit better. Because it looks like the only way I'm getting the shoot out here is, like I mentioned, you need to eagle this hole. Without eagling this hole, you are done for. 80% of the time in Tour 11. So there'll be an occasional time where you sneak one out for the win on with an eagle, but not very often. Almost all your opponents always eagle this hole. You just put on the right ball like this, and you know, even when guys hit the rough, for the most part, you know, you're playing guys good enough to hit that shot from the rough. So just something to consider when you get up here to this tour. You know, it's always going to be kind of a grind here. I believe I'm kind of in the same spot as last time. I'm going to play this roughly right about one ring here. Should be kind of spot on one ring. That's what I'm assuming. See me go on one full ring there. Hopefully I can get perfect ball this time. There it is. Just too much. That is a brutal hole. So here's the problem. When you lose like that, you don't get your pin chest. That's more than nothing. That's what I was playing for, is the pin chest. So it's frustrating to get to that point because it's like a wasted round. But what I love about what I'm doing here, basically, I'm not wasting balls. Well, I am wasting balls, but I'm wasting what I have an unlimited amount of. So no real threat there. And of course, they're just going to keep. Of course, they're going to keep giving us this hole. So this is the one hole where I'm just at a ridiculous disadvantage. Because like I said, I mean, you cannot anticipate not getting the eagle. Like, you just can't do that. And it looks like I have just enough wind that I can start to consider getting this thing. So that's good. But again, this without the side spin, this really puts you up against it. This is not an easy shot by any stretch. So here's 5 wings. I usually go about here. Of course, I'm going to go landscape. Oh, geez, that's too much. That's terrible. Playing this hole awful. Of course, they're not helping me with the wind, but I could have played that a ton better. I was going for perfect ball, so that just shows you. And that's kind of the thing about landscape mode, is it goes into too small. The screen goes into small, and on basic ball, the arrow just moves pretty fast. And whereas if I'm using Kingsmaker, it's going very slow. So it's a completely different shot. And like I said, you know, I'm going to probably lose this if I don't make this pitch. Pretty much just write yourself off if you're not getting your pitches here. So hopefully I can run this in this time. Jesus. The frustrations of Tour 11. And this is kind of what they include. I over-adjust, I under-adjust. Like, it's just crazy. Fractions of an inch. So I'm going to play this until we get this last pin chest. There's no point in me stopping the stream right now. Even though I'm into an hour and I wanted to be done by now. I cannot get this last pin chest. All I want to do is get to the shoot. Like, you can win in the shootout. I'll give you the I'll give you the shot. Like, seriously. I just want to get this last pin chest out of the way. And, you know, any other hole but that one. But they can give me easy wins that I'm still perfectly fine with. Basically, they gave me the 3 worst wins that I can get on that hole. And you just see, and that last one was the first one that was manageable. I still should have won with that, or not won, but got the eagle with that last wind. It was just a complete butchery of landscape mode, which I usually am not off by that, but I was running out of time. Just rushed it. So let's get back in this thing here. What do I got topspin wise? That's about good. Just a little bit more here. And again, like I mentioned, you know, just kind of back off with how aggressive you play this one. The softer you play it, the less likely chance of hitting that rough you will be. So you see, for the most part, I'm keeping it short. Of course, this time it's running out more, but notice I even took off more topspin though. So I think I had been playing like 5 bars. I think I might have gone a little bit towards 4.5 there because I knew it was going to just have a little bit of extra momentum. It was a little bit pointed, a little bit down. So there you see that. And of course, for whatever reason, this guy is wanting to waste an eyeball on Tour 11. So let's see what I can get done here. Of course, it's going to be another very challenging wind. Left and straight into the wind are the hardest that they can give me, and I've essentially got both the last 2 shots. So you see here I'm at max club, and it looks like the way that I'm going to be pulling is towards max club too. So I'm going to take off a little bit of this spin. I'm going to take it a little bit shorter like this because I'm going to need to pull backwards towards max club, and I don't want to go into power. So you're going to see me take off that, and you know, it should be kind of right on 10 rings or so. You see right there at max power. And kind of what, that extra ring's going to cost me, I know it. That's not running out anyway. So it is what it is, but with that great ball, I basically ended up pulling it an extra ring. I was running out of time there. It didn't quite run out. I kind of figured it would. But when you counter back into the wind like that, it kind of slows your ball down because you're countering the curl kind of to straighten it out. I like doing that to straighten out the arrow, especially when I don't have side spin, because I would have had to. So let's think about that shot. The wind's pointing out over the rough in the bunker there. So that's where you saw me making the adjustment, right? So I can't overplay the wind there because it'll land in the rough. So what do I need to do? I need to counter it back with the curl. So that's why you're kind of seeing me do it that way. So here we are. This will be our last shootout here. Hopefully the sound quality maybe improves a little bit once the stream actually uploads. Hopefully that'll increase it a little bit. But aside from that, I'm going to try to reach out to a couple guys who are doing live feeds and just try to get some suggestions, because from what I hear, DU recorder can be good for this. And the fact that I'm having a problem with it, like, it has to be a software problem for me, because the only time that I have problem is when I use the DU. So what you've seen from some of my other videos that I've been putting out, the more recent ones, I've been using another app. It's called Screen Recorder or something is what it's called. And I've been having no issues at all with the audio. So it's just one of those funny things that this is happening. So here you see a ridiculous wind that I have to play. I'm going to do it with about no backspin. And I'm going to make this my landing zone, like right in here. And do it with some curl. So 10. As you see, I got to go in quite a bit into power here and do it with curl, like I said. And this shot is none too easy. See, I'm landing it a little short, so it hit the rough. Might not even beat them. So, a little unfortunate, but win or lose, not a big deal. No, thanks, guy. This is what I'm talking about with kind of the smart comments. It's just kind of a stupid thing. Emojis are so dumb. That's why I just like try to stay away from them. But anyway, good luck to you guys. Hopefully you find the stream somewhat useful. You saw we got into kind of some challenging shots there, especially on that. Those last few were just brutal for me. So getting that hole right there, you know, 19 in the wind, 19 in the face. You see, I was trying to estimate how much power I needed to add, and I was probably, you know, just 1%, 2% power on the light side, and just caught the rough there. If it would have caught the fairway, it would have took the slope. And same with that other hole that, you know, they gave me some really brutal winds there for that eagle par 4. And I just wasn't able to get the eagles. So, but aside from that, hopefully you guys find some good use out of this feed. If you haven't subscribed, I'm sure a lot of you are subscribers here. I doubt you found this feed otherwise. So, but anyway, feel free to comment anything on the video. I'll do the best that I can to check that out. And good luck with Tour 11 or whatever you're working on. And hopefully you guys had some good tournament chests. Aside from that, I'll be seeing you guys out there. Good luck.